Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today we've got a race to the Castle Age with the Warlords 9 villagers start as Redphosphoru playing as the Burmese in, you got it, red, takes on Hera playing as the Bengalis in blue. Now all the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings, try to get their butts up to Castle Age because we are watching Redphosphoru, who I will get into in a second if you're not familiar with this player, and I guess try to go to the other side of the map. Good time for us to take a look at the Civ matchup we are going to be watching today, because this potentially is a very fun elephant full matchup. Now, the Burmese are a Civ that focuses on their mounted units. Their battle elephants come with extra armor, can be upgraded to get even more armor. Their cavalry can be upgraded to get a +4 attack boost against archers. And their unique unit, the Arambai, is a ranged cavalry unit that throws darts at its opponents with absolute dog shit accuracy. But even the darts that miss deal 100% damage compared to the usual 50% that projectiles deal when they land on the wrong unit. Now, to support and protect their mounted units, especially their elephants, there are a few cool options for our Burmese, who looks like he's about to get his berries lamed. Okay, do you want to go the infantry route? The Burmese infantry do get a progressive attack boost starting in Feudal, all the way up to +3 in Imperial, or you can go the route of the Spellcaster, the Monk. If you go this route, monastery techs are 50% cheaper. And check this out. Take a look at the vision of the Burmese. One thing you'll notice on the map, they start the game knowing exactly where all the relics are. And now Redphosphoru is going to know exactly what's happening as his berries get lamed. Now, in order to help you build the infrastructure needed to pump out huge amounts of units, all lumber camp technologies come free of charge. Oh goodness, I want to talk about the Bengalis, but let me introduce Redphosphoru real quickly. This is a player, first of all, incredibly entertaining to watch him on Twitch. If you take a look at the bottom right, you'll see his handle on Twitch. He does a lot of fast castle meta. Oh, look at this. Hera has pulled his lumberjacks out of position, and now he's trying to wall the lumberjacks out of their freaking lumber camp. Hera is applying a lot of pressure. He knows this is a player who goes fast castle, and so he is trying to F around and mess around and try to stop this player from going to fast castle. And by the way, the player, Redphosphoru, has been locked out of his lumber camp. He's got 172 wood. I guess he could rebuild it to the rear, to the front. But Hera, okay, this is definitely one way to try to stop a fast castle player. If you're not familiar with Redphosphoru, like I said, amazingly entertaining Twitch streamer. Although I will say the graphics, the mods that he uses for his building, I'll put it up here on the screen rather, might be a little confusing for some. He acknowledges it, and his logic is he doesn't really like the 3D buildings because if there's a unit behind here, it's harder to click. Whereas the mod that he uses, which is just as you see on the screen, makes it much easier to click. Anyway, he's broken in, and now he's back to getting that lumber. Let's take a look at the Bengalis real quick, as that Bengali player is here. No kills yet, but holy moly is Hera putting in an enormous effort. I said no kills immediately. Scout, of course, has to die to prove me wrong. He is putting in an inordinate amount of effort and energy here into stopping this player from going up to Castle Age, because Redphosphoru, like Huang in a way, although a little bit, not a little bit, very different play styles on the whole. This is a player who likes to go fast castle. He sometimes, I'm very curious to see if he takes the stone, for example. He really likes to get those unique units out of certain civilizations. But in any event, as our Burmese attacks the palisade, the lame attempt by our Bengali, let's actually take a look at the Bengalis, who look like they're building a bit of infrastructure. So let's go very quickly. Also, an elephant civilization through and through. All of their elephants take less bonus damage, are more resistant to conversion, and they can be upgraded to attack 20% faster. By the way, their melee cavalry do come with a small attack bonus, not against archers, but against skirmishers. Now, to support their slow moving elephants on the battlefield, Bengali monks come with a +3/+3 armor boost, and their unique unit, the Ratha, is one of the most versatile and hated units in the game, being a chariot that can switch between ranged attack and melee mode with trample damage. Now, in order to support the Bengali army, every Bengali town center spawns 2 villagers for free whenever the next age is reached. And so, focusing firmly on the Burmese base, I, of course, missed where the 2 free villagers went. and they can evolve, spiritually evolve, I guess, and physically evolve as well, their entire villager and monk population, so that they take up 10% less population space. The way that works is each monk, each villager takes up 0.9 population room instead of the usual 1, and so you can use the extra space for more army, more economy, or just kind of hang out and, you know, not really get up to 200 if that's what you want to do. A forward archery range, 2 more forward villagers. Hera really does not want his opponent to go to Fast Castle. Now, one interesting thing to note is if you're playing an opponent, ooh, might be a second kill here for our Burmese. If you're playing an opponent who has, how do I put this? Tenaciously held on to build orders, and to the point where they're kind of known. Like I said, T90 really is the... he's the one who I think put Redphosphoru kinda on the YouTube map. I'm not sure about Twitch. I'm sure Phosphoru was on Twitch for a while. And there you go. He is getting the stone. That's part of his usual strategy, so that he can plop down a castle ASAP and start getting out, in this case, a Rambai. But T90 had a bunch of his different videos, and so Hera, knowing that this is a Fast Castle player, and if you ever play against a Fast Castle player, if your opponent sticks to a game plan repeatedly, do what Hera's trying to do. Just try to stop them from getting that into that game plan. Stop them from getting into that game mode, and make sure that they absolutely get distracted. And instead of gathering the resources they're used to while you're on your side of the map, pushing deer and, you know, getting your economy up and running, interrupt theirs. And that's exactly what Hera is doing here. He's ahead 4 villagers. Both players are now finally in the Feudal Age. Phosphoru does have 355 food. Look at his stone count in Feudal. Hera, by the way, refusing to leave. He's lamed this tree line. He's brought forward infrastructure. The berries are still half lamed. And for the first time in the game, 11 and a half minutes in, our Burmese pushes out. He is heading. He sees the additional gold. I honestly didn't even have time to go over the location of resources, because it doesn't really matter at this point, does it? Hera, 12 minutes in, has lost 3 units, but he's now ahead 7 villagers. Now, 2 of those are, of course, that Bengali extra free villagers that they get when they go up to the next age, which means 5 of those are just his ability to stop the Burmese from getting his economy up and running. But with a tower here and no fewer than 13 villagers on stone, look at the stone count of our Burmese. He is definitely going to probably sell at least 200. Okay, so he sold 100. No, my goodness, he sold 600. He sold 600 stone, bought 300, bought... Okay, one second. I'm going to do something I almost never do. I think I've done this once in the last almost 2 years of having this channel. He sold 600 stone, bought 300 food, and then sold more stone and bought more food. Holy moly. And he is heading up to Castle Age at the 13-minute mark. So Hera, despite all of that, is very far behind in terms of age and in terms of being the one who will have his castle up first. Now, he's obviously seen... Well, actually, he hasn't seen the mining camp here. He's seen the tower, and he's probably seen the villagers working around it, so he knows that his opponent is going for that stone. Hera needs to start getting his food income up, up, up. He's ahead now 10 villagers. He's lamed, like I said, the 1 forest. Phosphoru doesn't have any villagers on food. He doesn't have any villagers on wood. Something just got deleted and destroyed over here. He thought maybe there was going to be an attack, but what he does have is still 13 villagers on stone, and now he has to get the hell out of here, even though the gold is nice and protected to the back. Hera, seeing that there's no wall off whatsoever, is already moving forward with his archers. By the way, did Phosphoru see his opponent's base? No, he hasn't. And there's no real indication here that Hera is to the bottom or to the top. Although I guess the presence of the relic kind of tells you Hera's not really here. So maybe using the logic, deduction, induction, whatever the hell the logic is, he has figured out that Hera is to the south of that scout, even though he hasn't seen any of the major gold, the major stone, and now Phosphoru has a 577 stone. He bought 100 more, and in 15 seconds, where, oh, where will he place his castle? Looks like Hera's got already 2 villager kills, which puts our Burmese down 16 villagers. Both players are housed, but one is housed at 25, and one is housed at 50. And Phosphoru says, you know what? In your freaking face, I know you've got palisades. I know you've got a tower. I know you've got a house. I know you can see this. I want you to see this, and I want you to see it real nice, because I'm going to drop a big, fat castle, and you can have all the Feudal Age units you want in the world. When my 12 attack Arambai comes out and your units are nice and clumped, you are dead meat. And I'm assuming immediately an Arambai starts coming out of here. Beautiful. Now, he does need to get a few more villagers on wood if he wants to go the Arambai route. Why do I say that? Arambai are redonkulously expensive. 75 wood, 60 gold. Hera, a little bit late to the party, attacking this tower with 2 scouts. Probably would have been better served doing that a little while ago. But of course, with 13 villagers there, what are 2 scouts going to do? Maybe 4 scouts would have been a bit more impactful. Tower is down. Wood is being jacked in earnest. More archers, 2 kills. This must be the 2 villager kills. Yep. So 4 kills to 2 at the moment. That castle managed to get an archer, I believe. No, the town center managed to get the archer. There's his quiver. And so 18 minutes into the game, our Bengali is in the Feudal Age. Mission accomplished? Question mark? Oh, he sees the villagers as well. Oh, goodness gracious. 2 more notches added to the Burmese belt here as 2 villagers killed apiece. Let's see what's going on around the map. These scouts are taking down the stone protecting tower, which no longer really serves any purpose. Oh, it looks like Phosphorou tried to wall off his side, his flank, but these archers have caught 1, 2, 3, 4 villagers in addition to the 2 they killed before. A wolf joins in and attacks one of Redphosphoru's villagers, and now he's moving in here with a ram by 12 attack. Look at that accuracy, by the way, 20%. 20% accuracy. Now, when your opponent's units are this clumped, 20% accuracy is not bad, because you know you're going to land on something, and when you land on something, they do that full 12 damage. And so the Arambai are just such an incredible unit. They do, however, interestingly enough, as I mentioned, the Bengali unique unit, the Radha, by the way, Hera, Castle Age in 2 minutes, 25 more villagers than his opponent. So there's a window here where Redphosphoru has to do damage. Not can do damage, he has to do damage, and can be circling around the back here. But it's an interesting matchup here, because as I mentioned, the Radha, the most hated unit in the game, because it has like 1,000 different armor classes that make it basically dead for every unit that it, every pikeman, every skirmisher, everything that comes with any kind of attack bonus. It has an attack bonus against it. Take a look at the Arambai, the exact same thing: archer armor, cavalry archer armor, and unique unit armor. And so everything that kills the Radha kills the Arambai. The only difference is, to upgrade the Radha is probably what, like 5,000 resources to upgrade these guys? I think you just need 2 upgrades, right? Oh, I guess you can go the armor upgrades, but what is it? Chemistry and the elite upgrade primarily is what you see for these 2. Hera's moving in here. He wants to get into that gold line. But the Arambai strike back. 13 kills. 6 of those are villagers. 7 are those archers. Oh, look at the stacking. Look at the stacking. This bug has been so abused and used and abused lately. We've seen it more and more. It's so annoying, not only for the players who have no clue how many units are actually in here, but for the caster. I mean, at least I can highlight this unit and see that there are 6. Hera has no way of knowing that there are 6 units in there. But look at that. Tower defense is up for him. He's protected the gold. He's protected the lumber. He's protected the stone with 2 and the wood as well. So Hera is sitting pretty at home. And he's now in the Castle Age. He's now ahead 22 villagers, not 25 as he used to be. But man, I'm very curious to see how all of this shapes out. Will it work out for our Burmese, who is just down? I mean, if you look at the score, he's not down that badly. He's down like 400 points, but uh-oh, wait a second. You okay? This is the last thing you want, is to lose half your army here. Oh, that's so sour. That was really sour. He was microing over here, trying to kill villagers, trying to pass through these towers. Instead, he loses a bunch of Arambai to the right. He loses half his army to the left. And what does he have left? 8 Arambai. 4 of them are here. Veterans with 11 kills. Back home, 4 more are moving forward, but they have to move through a whole bunch of Bengali infrastructure. And this is the annoying thing now that Hera's placed these proxy structures. You can attack on the other side of the map. you have no clue what's going to pop out of here. There's 2 stables here. There's an archery range of barracks. Literally anything could pop out of here. And you're playing against Hera. So literally anything can pop out of those structures. For now, though, Hera's just continuing his economy building. 26 villagers ahead. And he's getting a castle of his own. So he is slowly becoming uncrackable as our red Burmese channels his Huang and places a kind of forward siege workshop. Oh man, is Hera going to discover this almost immediately? The scouting, the level of scouting is just amazing. There are 9 units here. You'd think there are 2. Oh, and he sees the castle. Okay. He doesn't get walled in, so he's nice and safe, but there are way too many villagers here. Look, I love when the Arambai kill multiple units at once. Okay, there's 9 here. Oh my god, they fan out. They fan out. I've already used the fart in a room analogy. I need to come up with another one. And now they're kind of stuck here. 9 have become 4. 4 have become 2. 2 have become 0. And that's all she wrote for the offensive capabilities of our Burmese, who, by the way, discovers that his opponent hasn't even taken a sheep. What the hell is this game? Okay. I mean, I know there's a game plan by Hera. Like I said, I suspect. I shouldn't say I know, because obviously I don't know what's going on inside anybody's head but my own. And even then, half the time, I have no freaking clue what's going on in here. I suspect Hera, knowing who he's playing against, needed to interrupt the flow. Because again, when you know your opponent has a flow, they do A, then they do B, then they do C, then they do D. You insert yourself, you wedge yourself like a branch between a bicycle tire, between the spokes of a bicycle tire. You just, like that meme where the guy like puts a branch in his own tire, except this time it's Hera putting a stick, a twig in Redphosphoru's tire, wheel, spokes, whatever the hell it is. And you just interrupt it. And that's what Hera did. And not that Redphosphoru is really known for his big economy building. Like I said, this is a fast castle player. And generally fast castle players don't really focus as much on their economy building. Their main focus is to get this structure up as soon as possible, have the bare minimum coming out of here so that you can support endless production from here. And then eventually, as you put pressure on your opponent, you can do what Hera did when he was putting on pressure, which is stay at home, nice and secure, and then build up your economy. Be at a second town center, a third maybe, but the main goal, minimize this, maximize this. Hera knew that, and so immediately the laming of the berries, even though at the end of the day he didn't take the berries, which I think delayed him going up to castle, even though he did go up to castle at the 13-minute mark of the game, which, by the way, how many of us being attacked by Hera from literally minute 2 or 3 or 4 of the game would still be able to click up to Castle Age at the 13-minute mark? Thank you to the stone. Redphosphoru has to buy this stone a bouquet of flowers, because this is what allowed him to go up to the next age. By the way, did Hera see another pile of stone? No, he hasn't. Has Redphosphoru seen that there's another pile of stone? Yes, he has. But where's his secondary stone is very far exposed. So he is very lucky that this stone was here, for example, and not here. And that is just absolutely incredible out of Hera to attack so early. Now, I wonder if this would work if you do the regular random map setting with 3 villagers start and not the warlords. I think Hera's practicing for warlords now, as he was practicing for the Red Bull Wololo tournament with 9 villagers. Would it work if out of your 3 initial villagers, you sent 1 or 2 on to the other side of the map? Because at that point, again, you see Hera didn't even take his rear sheep. I'm assuming he took, maybe he didn't even take his deer. Okay. I mean, I think he took those 2 sheep that belonged to Redphosphoru, but wow. 25 kills to 33. Hera, and look at that. Even though our Burmese at the end of the day killed 10 more villagers, Hera has more than double the economy. And it's not just about the villager kills. What a very, I honestly I was expecting a game, like I said in the beginning, a race to the Castle Age. I really wanted, or I shouldn't say I wanted, I wanted to see elephants, who's getting who. But I expected a game where Redphosphoru would rush his ass up to Castle Age and Hera would do the same to say, hey, you think you can get up to Castle Age? Let me show you how it's done, son. and then see who got there first. But instead, Hera just took a Nancy Kerrigan, or I guess a Tanya Harding crowbar to the Nancy Kerrigan knee here, and just lamed the economy so much. Redphosphoru was so busy running around with his villagers, he didn't have time to gather resources. And so even though he killed 17 villagers to 7 and has the better kill count on the whole, it was too much for him. His economy was lamed. Hera with a little tiny bit below his usual 200 to 300 APM. Redphosphoru, look at that APM, 16, 19-minute mark of the game. Both of them about 10 minutes ago. How bad do we think the economy is? Oh, mamma mia. This is 60%, 70% bigger economy for our Bengali. Big surprise there. They got 4 extra villagers for free. One's for going up to feudal, one for going up to castle. And then they were basically unharassed until those Arambai came out. And that was for Redphosphoru 15 minutes in. So for 15 minutes and 45 seconds, and then let's add another minute, or let's say another minute for training time and travel time and clumping your units time. Let's add 2 more minutes to that, because I don't think he immediately went and looked for, I think he massed a few of his units. So let's say at the 16 to 18 minute mark of the game, for 16 to 18 minutes, Hera's economy was running unopposed while he himself was laming his opponents. That was absolutely epic. No conversions, raisings, losses not really playing a role in this game. But there you have it. So many lessons. Like I said, I really wasn't expecting this. I wanted to see fast castle. I wanted to see elephants. I wanted to see monks. One who can basically has eyeballs all over the map. One that comes with ridiculous armor. Elephants that attack faster, that have extra armor. I mean, there's a lot of mirrors between these two civilizations, but instead, Hera put on an absolute lesson on what to do if you're facing off against an opponent who you know follows a certain game plan over and over and over again. You develop a counter to that. It's like code breaking in World War II, you know? You figure out the code, and then you can intercept the messages. And in this case, what that meant was lame the berries, try to lame the wood, surround, get those villagers moving, running around, attack whatever you can. Doesn't matter if you lose your scout, doesn't matter if you lose a villager or two. As long as you interrupt the flow of your opponent, you will eventually take that W. Although this was pretty bad. Failing to get that castle. The second Redphosphoru saw that there were like 20 villagers building this castle, he probably should have gotten the hell out of here. Instead, he stuck around. He wanted to get the villager kills. And by the way, of these 17, probably 10 or 12 of them are here right before the castle went up in those double kills that those Arambai are famous for. And even though the Siege Workshop is up, he is just way too far behind. He's got 20 villagers at the 26-minute mark of the game. Never a situation you want to be in at all, especially when you're facing off against Hera of all players, and you know that your base is surrounded. Look at his vision. He sees... Oh, sorry. So he saw the... my brain derped out for a second. So he saw them in the Feudal Age. Now he knows that they're there. So they're still there. And he knows that the infrastructure is here. And like I said, this removes all defenders' advantage. And while your army's on this side of the map, who the hell knows what Hera's going to pump out of here to attack you and try to lame you. And ultimately, it was all just way too much. Hera's initial blitzkrieg villager scout lame worked like a charm. And with that lame, even though he didn't get his castle up first, even though he didn't get his castle up at all right up until the last second, he secured himself with towers back home. He lamed his opponent to no end, and with that laming takes the W. But GG in a really fun game to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.